The process area.
First pallet comes off.
Staging keeps lots organized so quality results and trace records stay tied to the correct fruit.
Digital lot capture starts traceability before sampling, testing, and release decisions.
Accurate receiving weight supports yield accounting and helps reconcile every lot through production.
The receiving ticket links the physical pallet to test data, storage location, and final shipment records. Paperwork review confirms the supplier declaration before the lot can proceed toward processing.
Matching documents to the lot prevents mix-ups before any fruit enters the wash line.
Any questionable lot is isolated immediately, so only compliant fruit can advance toward processing.
The chosen lot advances to sampling only after identity and hold status. Visual defects are reviewed to ensure quality standards are met before packaging. Defects are classified. Soluble solids measurement helps verify fruit maturity and supports downstream recipe control.
Dodar Entity Registration Replacing Availability Executive.
Size consistency influences handling behavior on gentle conveyors and optical sorters later in the line. Processing area.
Blueberries are positioned at a gentle feed point because berry skins bruise easily under rough transfer. Opening occurs only at the feed point, so lot identity and product protection are maintained until processing starts.
Gentle dumping starts the process while minimizing skin damage before debris screening and washing. Even feed rate helps the wash system work consistently without crushing delicate fruit.
Early debris removal protects downstream wash equipment and reduces unnecessary soil load.
Shallow flume transfers blueberries gently while beginning the wet cleaning state. The wash channel uses flow and density differences to separate heavier contamination from the fruit. Mechanical contact wood.
Controlled agitation removes loose contamination while minimizing bruising and skin breakage.
Metered sanitizer supports microbial control only when concentration and contact conditions are verified.
Chemical verification matters because underdosing reduces control and overdosing can damage fruit quality. The fruit must stay in the controlled section long enough for the wash chemistry to be effective.
The incline separates fruit from bulk wash water before the final freshwater rinse.
The final rinse removes residual chemistry and loosened debris before sorting.
Inspection belt.
A thin, even layer allows workers and cameras to see defects more reliably.
Cameras and reject thresholds match the fruit's true appearance.
Triangulation lets each berry be viewed individually, so soft defects and color issues can be detected.
Surge buffer evens the flow into the extraction section without rough handling. Controlled feed prevents overload and helps the crusher produce a consistent mash.
Gentle crushing breaks the skins, so pulp can be separated efficiently without excessive seed damage.
The balance tank smooths short-term flow changes so the pulper receives a stable feed. Closed transfer reduces exposure while keeping product movement controlled between wet process machines. Pulping frees the usable fruit fraction while beginning the separation of skins and seeds.
Early separation improves efficiency by keeping the main pulp stream moving, while solids are handled independently.
Controlled separation keeps the edible pulp on the sanitary main line, while solids move toward independent recovery.
This visible split locks the pomace to the fiber powder route, while the pulp continues toward finishing and aseptic packing. The finisher removes remaining coarse particles, so the puree stream becomes smoother and more uniform. Fine screening improves texture and removes residual coarse material that would reduce puree consistency.
Separating the smooth fraction here protects downstream pumps and keeps coarse residues out of the final product. Coarse residues are combined with pomace, so the fiber recovery line handles one consistent byproduct stream.
A final inline sieve gives extra protection against any remaining oversized particles before deaeration.
Inspecting the sieve catch verifies the screen is doing its job without letting residue build up.
Deaeration removes trapped air that could affect oxidation, filling accuracy, and thermal performance.
Lowering the air content helps preserve color and gives more stable downstream processing. Once air is removed, the puree can move to the next hold point with more stable flow behavior. Buffering smooths short variations, so the standardization section receives a stable, continuous feed. Stable tank level helps prevent surges that could upset later blending and thermal treatment.
On the byproduct line, wet pomace is dewatered first, so drying becomes more efficient and controlled. Mechanical dewatering reduces moisture load before thermal drying, lowering energy demand on the fiber of the dryer more evenly. Even loading is important because uneven bed depth can cause moisture variation in the final fiber powder.
Within specification before heat treatment. Gentle agitation keeps the puree uniform, so any specification adjustment distributes evenly.
Blend solids are checked again here because the final product must meet a defined specification before pasteurization.
Blending with matching blueberry concentrate rather than adding unrelated material. Uniform mixing is essential, so the final measured value truly represents the whole tank.
A confirmation reading verifies that the corrected blend now meets specification before it advances to the CCP heat step.
Once the blend meets specification, it advances toward final texture control and the heat treatment critical control point. Homogenization can improve texture uniformity, so the puree behaves more consistently in heating and filling. The pasteurizer is the critical control point, where time and temperature must be achieved and documented. Heating must reach the validated set point, so the process delivers the intended microbial control. Reaching temperature is not enough by itself. The product must also remain hot for the validated holding period. The diversion valve protects food safety by allowing only product that meet the validated heat condition to continue. Controlled cooling prepares the puree for stable transfer into the aseptic zone without undoing the validated heat step. The aseptic surge tank buffers flow to the filler while maintaining a closed, sterile product path.
Connector integrity matters because a single loss of aseptic barrier can compromise the filled product.
Packaging must be ready and correctly identified before any sterile product reaches the fill heads.
The liner-to-filler connection must stay sterile, so the validated product condition is preserved into the package.
Aseptic filling transfers the stabilized puree into a sterile package that can be stored and shipped in bulk.
Weight monitoring prevents underfill and overfill while keeping lot yield records accurate.
Immediate sealing protects the product from exposure once the correct amount has been delivered.
Coating preserves traceability, so every filled drum can be tied back to raw fruit, processing data, and release records. A second weight check confirms the package meets target after the fill head has closed. Vision inspection helps confirm that seal components and identification labels are present and correctly placed.
Final package X-ray provides an additional foreign body control at a logical dry package stage after sealing.
Recording the inspection result adds one more piece of evidence that the finished package meets control requirements. Continuous but controlled filling keeps the validated product moving without breaking aseptic conditions. CIP verification confirms that a cleaned circuit is rinsed and released properly before or between production use. Documented release links sanitation status to the production record and supports audit-ready hygiene control.
Palletizing stabilizes heavy bulk packages for safe storage and transport without damaging the sealed drums.
Even stacking prevents load shift and protects package integrity through storage and loading.
Wrapping secures the bulk drums so they remain stable during forklift movement and truck transport. The
Wrapped pallet enters staging. Loading completes the physical handoff from processing plant to distribution, while preserving traceability by pallet and lot.